Welcome, NASNPRO family. This is Shelby Isaacson coming to you from Laflore Live Probiotics. We are going to be talking about Beyond SPF, protecting and repairing the skin microbiome. And as you can see, we have the lovely Emily Stutzman, our in-house licensed esthetician, with us. Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Shelby. It's such an honor to come on here with you today. And thank you for the flattering comment. Yeah, it's a little bit more. We love a group project. Like, it just makes it so much better.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to talk about this. I think that the title of this, Beyond SPF, like we get so many questions as to why don't we have a sunscreen yet, which I'm sure at some point you'll probably talk a little bit about that. But I do think everybody here is going to be really excited to hear what probiotics do when it comes to protecting and repairing the skin microbiome. Let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the key objectives. So one thing, when Emily and I were discussing how we wanted to bring this information to you and what was the most important when it came to sunburns, sun exposure, and the skin microbiome, we wanted to make sure you had actionable things that you could incorporate after this session. So here are key objectives that we came up with. Obviously, we always want you guys to learn about the skin microbiome. We're always learning. We're total geeks about it. So we're going to definitely talk about it, as well as how the sun impacts that. That's why we're all here today. But you're also going to get practical assessment approaches. We're going to be able to master the Laflore sunburn facial protocol, thanks to Emily. We're also going to talk a little bit about how to integrate this result-driven treatment into your practice quickly, because we all know summer's coming. I'm in Florida. It's already hot. This is a great one to be able to market, as well as even no matter where you live, meeting the demands of those sun-loving clients. Emily and I were actually talking about this yesterday. Can you imagine that client that comes in and I am the maid of honor on Saturday and I had one too many margaritas and look at me now. You can actually be the hero of that wedding. Emily, I know you've been a bridesmaid a few times.
So many times, maid of honor a few times. It's nice to know people like me, but it does come with that responsibility. And pretty much any wedding I go to, because I move enough that it's always a destination. And yeah, you're like on vacation. It's really fun. Destination weddings are everything right now, but it's true. Like, you're out of your element, you're having fun, you guys drinking, you're out with your friends. It's this great time. It's a celebration. And we see a lot of burns when that happens. And if you're actually able to help someone with that, you're going to be their best friend. Like, you are going to change that wedding, because every photo is going to be them just lobster red if they don't do something, or if they start peeling, then they can't do makeup. Like, it can be a whole thing. And
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Peeling with makeup. Yeah.
I started as a makeup artist. If someone was peeling, it made my life a disaster, because their makeup was never going to look right, no matter what I did. Like, it was out of my control. So that's a big deal. And like you said, in Florida and anywhere in the summer, you see a lot of that, especially hotel spas. I know see this, like, anytime you get these kind of clients and you just want to, I know a lot of people do weddings on the side and things like that. You're going to want to have a way to get any of those girls ready so they're good to go for the big day. And the photos.
Always about the photo. It's about the gram.
They get posted for years to come. You want to look good. Like, it's like the one time everyone's getting professional photos. Trust me, wedding photos live forever.
They do. Yeah, definitely. Let's jump right in. Emily, can you talk a little bit about the skin microbiome? I don't want to go too deep, because like I said, I think most of our audience understands that we have a skin microbiome, but can you talk a little bit about the defense side of it?
Yeah, so I always like to define the skin microbiome as an invisible ecosystem. It's what lives on our skin. It's that bacterial diversity that lives on our skin. And it's not just this physical barrier. It really is that ecosystem that works together to establish your skin health. This is what controls if you have healthy, radiant, beautiful skin or not. That's what we forget. And it's impossible to get that healthy, beautiful skin without impacting the skin microbiome, hopefully in a positive way. Because once it's impacted negatively, like a sunburn, you're now out of balance and things aren't working properly. So it's that core stable group. It needs to keep established. It's crucial in defending against pathogens and viruses that we constantly aren't encountering. Our whole day is being encountered by different forms of bacteria. That's something I learned when I started with the company. It's in the air, staph, all these different pathogens and viruses, they're in the air. We know about that, but we don't always think about it on how it affects our skin. So you want to make sure that your client's skin is able to fight these pathogens and viruses that it's going to encounter just on a day-to-day basis. And the best way to do that is to make sure that good bacteria and those probiotics are in a abundance in that skin microbiome. Because again, it's that ecosystem. It needs all those good ingredients to function properly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I think about traveling too. Like we're getting
yes.
involved in so many other things. There's so many other people around us. You don't know what you're touching. I'm a big face toucher. So what am I putting here? Definitely. Let's actually, I made a slide specifically about some studies that I found that talked about how the sun actually impacts the skin. So I'm going to jump to that slide next. Hopefully you guys all can see this. I know you love my art drawing.
I was like, it's like a ray of sunshine, truly.
A ray of sunshine. So here we have this beautiful funnel. Sun's coming in, and we're all imagining laying on the beach. Siesta Key's just a few miles from here. It's one of the best beaches in the world. So you're sitting on that lovely white sand. You're enjoying your book by Emily Henry. She's got a new one out. But what you're forgetting is that increased temperature is increasing inflammation and oxidative stress. Then what is that doing? That's just Emily was saying, it's going to impair the immune function. It's going to change the bacterial composition. And we all know that when your bacterial composition changes, that's when skin conditions show up. Obviously for acne, and then even like Demodex mites that cause rosacea, like it's changing the game. So imagine it's like you're going in there with a blowtorch in your garden. It's gonna look a little different depending on how much heat it is. So that's happening. Great. And then you have that disruption of the skin microbiome. That's the dysbiosis, right? So people are thinking like, oh yeah, I'm a little red for the sweating, but what they're forgetting is that they're killing that bacteria that's on their skin. In turn, their sensitivity could potentially increase. Emily, I know this is always a thing for you when you talk about your own dermatitis. My daughter has dermatitis and she rows crew. So she's like constantly outside. And if she's not protecting her skin, you start to see it like orally and around her eyes.
Yeah.
So that's something we need, I think, as a whole field of pros, need to explain to people that like, yeah, your tan can be beautiful, but it's actually changing everything.
Because the sunburns go away. So I get it. People are like, oh, I burned. Okay, whatever. I'm going to peel and then be done. We all talk about that. I got my base tan, so I'm going to burn. I'm going to peel, and then the rest of the summer I'll be tan. But we don't always remember to think about what that's doing to our skin. Yeah, your skin is repairing itself, but are you aiding it or are you making it more challenging? And you were saying with your daughter, dermatitis and rosacea, if any doctor will tell you this too, you're not supposed to do extreme temperatures either way, hot or cold. That was the first thing my dermatologist informed me of when I got diagnosed. She was like, now no hot water and no cold water, like none of that, because it's going to flare you up because your skin can't handle it. And it's very true. That's exasperates those conditions. So someone might have their rosacea under control or their dermatitis under control, and then summer hits, they're out in the sun, and it's just full flare up.
Exactly. Like one of the big bacteria too that is beneficial, even though it doesn't sound like it, is Staphylococcus epidermidis. And that one is considered to be like one of the best in the sense of fighting against the harmful bacteria. Though I'm at the point right now, I don't know how many harmful we really have. It's about overgrowth, just like any other diversity of any other microbiome out there, whether it's a forest or an ocean or your face.
It's all about keeping that homeostasis and making sure that your skin has the right properties. So if something bad doesn't happen, like a sunburn or encountering bad bacteria, your skin is in a healthy enough state that it can repair itself. So that's why, especially when you have a client who is in that state of disrepair and disruption, you want to make sure you're aiding the skin and not making it worse, because if you're adding the wrong ingredients in, you could cause a bigger issue and more long-term damage. Think hyperpigmentation, all that kind of stuff. The skin is already stressed out and unable to function. They're just trying to repair themselves. They're working overtime. So you want to be adding ingredients that help them instead of hinder them.
Yeah, and imagine if you're doing other treatments as well during this season, if their microbiome isn't strong, the recovery is going to take a lot longer and the results are going to be impacted.
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
that's why
show
peel
you.
season is fall and winter.
Yep, exactly. Let me show you one other study that I found. This one actually mentions Laflore, which I thought was good and exciting, is the point of topical probiotics. Obviously, we're geeks about that too here at Laflore. And we're always saying this, skin health is bacterial.
Yep.
But what this study had proven is that those probiotics that we have, the live probiotics, actually block that inflammatory pathway. So if people are using probiotics in addition, we're not replacing the SPF, but in addition to, they're potentially not going to be as red. And then being able to, like, you don't realize you're burnt, and then you start doing the little press test a couple hours later, and you're like, oh, I did that. That is another time where if you're putting probiotics on prior to that, post sun, they're able to basically pause it, I guess you would say. Pausing isn't the right word. Counteract. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's why she's the esthetician, ladies.
I don't know about that one, but it's just we've worked together long enough. I can read your mind at this point. I knew where you were going.
Yeah, exactly. So here you can see it. I clipped this straight from it, so it's not the greatest picture in the sense of visibility here. But on the far side, where you can see that dysbiosis and the inflammation, the redness is coming up, everything's hurting. I think we've all potentially done that. We're laying in bed and you're really regretting the amount of sun that you got. Maybe not now because you know better what happens.
Even as professionals make mistakes, I would be misleading if I said I've never burnt. Way more than I'm proud of.
Exactly. And then the middle one, you can see here, these little blue dots, that implies the probiotics. And as that's being put in, you can see it's starting to go in where that inflammation went and closing that gap. And then on the far side, you can see the barrier repair and the healthy skin. So that's exciting. One simple, easy step. Definitely.
Love it. Because again, you were right when you were saying sometimes you're sitting out there, you don't realize how red you've gotten. That's what screws me up. I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Then you get out of that bright sunlight and you go into a bathroom, you're like, oh, I am lobster. I am full blown lobster at this moment. And at that point, it's too late, especially if you're out at the beach. You're like, I can't just go home right now. I'm out with people.
Exactly. And I know it seems really, this solution seems really simple, but as we go a little bit farther, I think Emily will be able to help you understand like what we're really doing here. I wanted to try to make it to where it's something that you could translate to your customers. So just to go back a slide, okay, you get sun exposure, that's going to increase your inflammation and your stress. That's going to impair the function of your microbiome, change that bacterial diversity, and that's where you're going to have issues, not just the visible burn and the peeling, but you're going to disrupt your microbiome. And just if you were doing a chemical peel, putting the probiotics on afterward is going to make it better. And if you were using them regularly in home care, then you're going to have a more resilient microbiome and barrier in the future. So Emily, let's talk a little bit about Laflore. That's part of why we're here, right?
Absolutely.
Probiotics are a little different because they are live and active, but can you go into that a little bit more, as well as what we've been clinically been able to prove with ours?
Yeah, so we actually did do a clinical study with a board certified dermatologist. She actually saw a statistically significant increase in both hydration and a decrease in inflammatory diseases such as dermatitis, rosacea, acne, psoriasis. Those are all inflammatory. That's something that I think gets overlooked a lot. It's the inflammation that's causing that flare up to be worse. So you need things that help to bring down inflammation. We also saw an overall reduction in that inflammation on those subjects that were using the Laflore Live Probiotic Serum that has that good multi-strain probiotic in it. They were using it for 14 days. So they saw these significant changes in just 2 weeks. So being able to see that change that fast, and also know that the longer you're using it, the more resilient it's making your skin. I'm a personal proponent of that with my rosacea and dermatitis. I don't have flare-ups anymore because my skin has this backup of probiotics constantly being supplied into it. So I don't have to have that issue because my skin gets very easily adjusted and switched. And I was constantly dealing with flare-ups before adding in probiotics because my skin just never had enough. Now I have that daily dose, just like you would take any kind of vitamin or supplement for your body. I'm supplementing my skin properly, so I'm getting everything that I need to keep my skin on the right track. Some other things that it's clinically proven to do. So Laflore's live probiotics, that multi-strain, it's been clinically proven to hydrate and balance the skin, reduce that inflammation, improve overall skin health by reducing the harmful cellular processes. So again, we have the good guys fighting for us, and it will keep the skin's natural microbes healthy. So our goal is to get you a healthy microbiome because that is the root cause of healthy skin. It's just like when you go to a functional medical doctor, they want to know, they don't just want to give you a pill to get rid of your headache. They want to know why you got your headache. Let's reverse back to see why so we can fix it so you don't have it going forward. It's that same idea. You can target the symptoms of dermatitis or rosacea, try to get rid of the redness or try to cover up, add in someone's hydration if they have dry skin. But you're not really getting to the root cause of why this is happening. Why are they flaring up? Why is their skin dry? The reason is because something's out of balance. And the most effective way to repair that balance and to get everything back to homeostasis is to supplement that live probiotic. I wish someone would have told me this earlier. It would have saved me a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of stress and like emotional distress. Let me just say the emotional toll was the worst. So just being able to have that simple step of including that live probiotic for your client can really change lives. Like I don't say that lightly. I say it because I personally, my life changed when I no longer had to worry about my skin because I had products that were supplementing it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what we're going at too, is like, hey, this works for these inflammatory conditions, but it also does those temporary inflammatory conditions of over sun exposure, correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, if you've overdone it, we're all guilty of doing too much and
Right.
or being in the sun too long, over stripping our skin with a peel or over cleansing. We all see those clients too who scrub the living daylights out of their face.
Yeah,
Again, when I got
exactly.
dermatitis, that was my first thought was, oh, I got to scrub these off. What I didn't
Oh,
realize is it was making it worse because I was causing more damage to an already stressed out situation. It's the same thing with the sun. They might have their first day out in the sun. They're like, oh, this isn't so bad. It'll start of summer. We have a little bit warmer weather. We're going for our walks, but it's getting worse because they're not repairing it along the way. So their skin is just, it's not able to keep up. So it's getting worse
like
and
the
worse.
chill pill, right? So skin is stressed, let's get the chill pill. Let's put the probiotics on. And then obviously in this day and age, we're always taking something to chill, whether it's tea or ashwagandha or probiotics.
Or a shot of tequila, to each their own. Everyone has their own. There's no judgment here.
So I hopefully everybody got that. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to email us. We'll have the contact at the end. But I do want to jump a little bit in and have you, Emily, explain the approach that we have. We've talked a little bit about the probiotic part, but really we're a microbiome focused company that takes the probiotics to supplement and support. But it's not just the live probiotics that we use to help the microbiome. Can you go over that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so we talked about how the microbiome is a system, it's an ecosystem. So even introducing live probiotics in an ecosystem, anything living needs like a fuel source, right? Like you and I have to eat to live or drink a lot of coffee, again, to each their own. So you need an energy source in life. Probiotics are alive. That live bacteria is the same way. It has to have an energy or fuel source. And that's why you need a line that also has a good source of prebiotics, sorry. Prebiotics are that energy food source. So you want to make sure you're getting probiotics, that live bacteria, but you want to make sure it has the right ingredients to make it a superstar, to make it the strong man or whatever you want to call it. You need those prebiotics, that food source. We have this in an abundance in our cleanser, in our live probiotic booster. Our longevity concentrate is a great source of this. Our eye cream complex, hydrating mask, they all have really good prebiotic ingredients that will help to feed that good bacteria on your skin to help them work more effectively. That's that things like fiber, triglycerides, omega-rich oils, lysates, these all fall into a prebiotic category. And there's prebiotics in pretty much every product that you have, but some are a richer source than others. It's like having a salad versus having a piece of cake. They're both going to give you energy, but one's going to be a lot more sustaining than the other. And then we have the Yeah, and then we have our live probiotics. So Laflore, we use a multi-strain because you have billions of bacteria on your skin. One strain's just not as effective as a multi-strain. And
All
that's
about the
that
diversity.
all about diversity. And that's that living microorganism. It's a good alive bacteria that they're neutralizing the harmful bacteria. They're also creating the properties of AHA and BHA, all the vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D3. Like they're creating that on your skin for your skin. We forget that our bodies are capable of making it if they have the right ingredients.
And they're smart, right? Our bodies are
Yeah.
smart. So when they're
Oh,
working
yeah.
with these probiotics, when they're working with the host system or those colonized bacteria, from what I understand that Dr. Capano has talked about, is that it gets to the point Shelby needs a little bit more vitamin B here, and that starts producing that. And different probiotics also are more likely to create a specific. So
They
for
each
you're
have
not
its
gonna
own.
you're not gonna expect the painter to bring you some pottery, or you're not gonna
They all
expect the
have their own.
carrot farmer to be able to bring you some green beans.
Yep.
So
They
being able
each
to have
their own.
everybody there goes back to that diversity piece.
Definitely. Again, ecosystem.
Yeah. Can you explain just really quickly how we deliver those live probiotics to the skin?
So at Laflore, we use a patented technology that basically encapsulate them in a dormant state in our products. So they're asleep in our products. I have a serum here because I can't ever be very far from one. So they're encapsulated and sleeping in this guy right here in our serum. We also have this in a pro size, obviously. I just have the retail with me. But it's that touch activation, that heat and friction of applying them that kind of bursts their little bubble that they're living in, that they're like their little sleep pod, if you will. It wakes them up and it forces them to get up, shake the cobwebs off, and go to work. They start communicating with the bacteria that's already on your skin. And we've done studies where we've seen this communication between the bacteria increase, which
Cool.
increases production. And that's how we're getting these beautiful results with adding live probiotics, because we're seeing that increase in communication, that increase in production of the vitamin C, the vitamin A, all of these properties. You're getting that from those live probiotics, and they're working with what's already there. We're non-colonizing, so we're not creating a new ecosystem. We're supporting the one you already have. So that's what makes the big difference. It's not complicated. Don't overcomplicate it for your clients. Keep it in layman's terms. It's the good guys going in, you're adding workers to your workforce, they're helping out, they're filling in the gaps. Your skin knows what it needs, but it doesn't always have the resources to do that. So when you can add in those resources, it just can fill in the gaps for you. For me, that was my dermatitis and rosacea. I needed help. My skin was in such a stressed out state. I needed something aiding it and fighting off those bad mites and the bad bacteria that was causing those constant inflammation, that constant flare up. I was in a cycle, and I know a lot of your clients end up in those cycles too of flaring up, and it's frustrating. So having something that can go in and do the work for them to bring all that inflammation and that stress down and work with their skin, it's a huge game changer, because
I've actually seen too where Tessa and I were at a conference in Orlando, and this guy was really red from sun exposure.
Yeah.
And he put it, like some of it on his hand. I wish I would have taken a picture, because you could see like where he wiped the serum, the color changed. It was bizarre and very cool at the same time.
I was at actually a NASNPRO show, and I had a girl walk up to me, and she was in a rosacea flare up. She goes, "I have horrible rosacea." And I told her, I'm like, "We can help." I was like, "If you want, just put it on," because she was like me, or how I used to be, where I was like, "I don't want to try anything. Everything flares up. My skin, I just can't make it worse. It's already stressed." But I was explaining to her what I'm explaining to you guys right now. Like, it's helping those gaps. It's going to bring down the inflammation. It's going to help your skin. And she'd put it on one side, and you could visibly see the difference between the side she had put it on and the side she hadn't, because it was doing the work. There's some instant response. It builds over time, but you do get that like instant gratification of, okay, we've brought something down. We're better. You can feel it in your skin. It's not as hot to the touch. The redness is going down. It's remarkable how quickly those guys can work.
So we talked a little bit about postbiotics, that the probiotics produce those, but we do have them in our products as well individually.
Yes. So we do have something called postbiotic or probiotic extracts or lysates. Those are things that feed back into the skin microbiome. They're what is extracted. So when you off a live probiotic, there's like this fluid. That fluid is that lysate. And while it's not the live bacteria that are our probiotics, it helps aid them. It continues to keep them superstars because it's helping to keep the skin neutralized. And then what they create are these postbiotics. So you see the word postbiotics. Those are metabolites created from those live probiotics doing the work. It's that vitamin K, B complex, the short chain fatty acids, again, the vitamin A, the amino acids.
Non-stripping, like AHA, like retinol alternatives and all that stuff, right?
Oh, all the things. We forget our skin is producing these, and we don't have as much information about when we apply them, how much actually gets to work, where we do know that we can actually prove that live probiotics produce these. And when they're being produced for your skin, by your skin, they're more effective. So you really see those results. Every once in a while, I hear someone who's, oh, I can't have vitamin C. It's my skin. It's too harsh on my skin. I'm allergic to vitamin C. I'm like, you're not. You make it. Your skin is not able to handle the source of that vitamin C. It's just not able to absorb it. So I see that a lot where I tell people, if you use a live probiotic, your skin will be able to make that vitamin C, and it's being made for your skin. So you're not going to be sensitive to it. You're going to be fine, which is also why we don't have any aftercare of like staying out of the sun. You can go right back into the sun. There's no sun sensitivity from our products because we're fueling the skin. We're increasing that skin health. So I know a lot of products is, oh, limit sun exposure after this. And you're like, that sucks. It's summer.
Yeah, I'm at the spa at the hotel in Malibu.
I just got my hair done. I don't want to put a hat on. So it's that.
There's some real beauty to that for sure. And thinking about that and the fact that it can go from severe conditions, minimal conditions to I played outside too long, and knowing that you get to be the hero to the whole thing for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Yeah, so that's what those postbiotics are. Those are what's being produced by the live probiotics.
Okay, makes sense. So do you guys want to see something that I did? It's embarrassing, but in other NASNPRO episodes, Emily has graciously showed her before and after.
We all have to take our turn. Again, this goes back to we all make mistakes. Oh, shelves. Yeah.
So I told you guys how my daughter does rowing, and that means sometimes I'm at a regatta all day.
We love to support it.
And in Florida, this was February. So I threw on my favorite sunscreen. I made sure my face was fine, but my décolleté kind of, I forgot.
A little worse.
That way I didn't reapply. It was one of those, I didn't realize it until like I got out of the shower and I was like, holy cannoli. Sure enough, I did that. So with this, because I have Emily, I knew what to do. So I cleansed, and then I actually mixed the moisturizer and the longevity oil together because it was a little ouchy, and the longevity oil has like turmeric and arnica. And so I wanted to make sure that I really was able to do that. So the before picture is around 9 p.m. And then I took the next picture the following morning, which was at 7 a.m. So it wasn't even 12 hours later. And I could easily have been in a wedding photo or out to dinner or whatever without embarrassment. I can also say comfortably that I didn't peel or blister.
That's what I was about to say is at least you weren't peeling. It stopped that peeling too. Because like I was saying, if you're somewhere and once you start peeling, it's doing it till it's gone.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you what this all does. And actually I did put on the serum as well now that I'm thinking about it. So I did cleanser, serum, let that soak in. Then I mixed the moisturizer with the longevity oil because I wanted to make sure, because I was going to bed and I'm in that part of life anyway. I already had the sweaty nights, so let's not make them hotter. At least not in that way.
Well, and you did the right thing too, because you basically supplemented your skin properly before you go to bed. Your skin's regenerating overnight. Like that is, I read something, it was like we treat rest like a reward, like a treat when it's really a necessity. Because our body redoes so many of its processes overnight where we're sleeping. Your skin's the same way. That's why it's really important to put your night products on before bed, why you don't sleep in makeup, why you do your nighttime routine. That's why we always say if you're only going to put on our serum once a day, do it at night, because it's giving your skin all the properties that good live probiotic bacteria that it needs to aid in that regeneration overnight. So if you do have someone, they're out all day, at night they realize they're sunburned, if they can put on the serum, or if they're lucky like Shelby and have the full line, they can really decrease those issues and see better results the next morning because their skin has the properties it needs to repair itself while you're sleeping.
Yes. Yes. So do I get an
A plus? Honestly, it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
So I'm glad I got an A plus. And
Yes.
thankfully I have Emily for sure, who's taught me so much about the fact that yes, this gets sun, but this also gets sun. And we aren't always told about that when we're growing up.
I see damage to the décolleté all the time. Someone's face will be clear and gorgeous, but they clearly have a significant amount of sun damage on their chest. It's so common. So that's another thing you should do as estheticians is reminding your clients your skin is more than just your face, and this can start to show aging too if they let it get damaged by the sun.
Absolutely. Really quickly, because I know we're starting to run out of time, Emily, can you tell us a little bit about the Laflore sunburn recovery treatment protocol that you've created that people can use, estheticians or skin health professionals can use in the pro side? And I especially want you to talk a little bit about the mask magic. I don't know if you just want me to pull up the protocol or if there's something you want to share here.
Yeah, this is just take a quick look at the products here so you're familiar with what we're about to talk about and how to use it. So it's the cleanser, our daily defense moisturizer, our professional live probiotic booster, which is professional grade probiotic. It's 3 times the concentration that's in our serum. So it's a really good boost. We have our eye cream complex, our longevity concentrate, which if you've ever heard me talk out, that's my favorite product in the whole wide world.
It is a crowd favorite, yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Especially when you add it in on top of everything.
Oh, it's amazing. And then we have our hydrating mask, which is an aloe-based mask. So the first thing you should be doing after a burn is aloe. So that's why this mask is so crucial in this. And but these are all the products you're going to need. That's how simple this protocol is going to be for you for a sunburn. Because especially when someone's burned, you just want to give their skin what it needs. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overwhelm it. You just need to give it what it needs to get back to that healthy, non-damaged.
It's all non-stripping. That was something that you had mentioned when we were talking about it. It's like, this is hydrating, it's reducing the inflammation, the pain, the redness, but they're still getting a facial experience.
Correct, especially when it comes to the cleanser. So if we want to go into the protocol, explain why.
Yeah, definitely. Can you really quick, as I'm pulling this up, explain like how long the treatment is typically and what some suggested pricing is? Because I want to make sure everybody knows like what their profit opportunities are with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So this treatment time is about 45 to 60 minutes. So your typical facial time. The reason that you have that gap is because you can add into it if you need to, you can extend it, you can let the mask sit on longer. It's how you schedule your services. So it gives you that flexibility. So with suggested price of $99 to $125, you'll really be able to make back your profits quickly while you're also giving your clients a huge little burst of that good bacteria and getting that inflammation down. So you're aiding them in their sunburnt journey while also helping to keep the lights on in your business.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun one to promote on social too. There's so much funny stuff that you could do with it and reminding people like, oh, I'm here to help you. It can be such a hero-based opportunity. But let's jump in real quick to the protocol because I know you took some time really thinking this one through.
Yeah, our protocol it's a basic European facial, which Laflore facials are. And your treatment is products with this. We're not using any modalities or anything like that. Your treatment for this is the products. So that's how we're treating the skin. That's how we're aiding it. We're not doing anything crazy because when someone's skin is damaged, you really need to be careful what you're adding into it. So we're going to start with a pre-cleanse. So that is our cleanser, which is non-stripping. It has some Japanese mint in there. So it's really cooling and calming for the skin. Oh yeah. Especially when you're burned and you're red and you're irritated, that nice mint is just going to feel so calming, cooling. It's also increasing the circulation. So the blood flow is going. So we're able to kind of get the skin ready. And the best part
is amazing. I know like when you did my facial, like being able to just bring that smell up in, it's so relaxing. And then that cooling sensation. Yeah, it really feels great.
Yeah. So you want to do it. I do it in the full force for my first cleanse I know if someone's skin is sunburnt, you're going to want to just be a little bit more gentle with it. What's nice about our cleanser is it's non-stripping. So your skin, it's remarkable. It actually feels hydrated after you wash it, which is something you do not get with most cleansers. So it's not stripping the skin, it's just cleaning the skin. There's a huge difference there. You don't have to strip the skin to get it clean and ready for other products. So you do it full force. The difference here, what I want you to remember to switch, take out your steam towels. That skin is already hot. We're trying to cool it down if it's sunburned. So you have to keep in mind, this is a sunburn protocol. So your other facials, whatever, you're using your steam towels. When someone comes in sunburnt, cool those steam towels off. Do a cool towel. Trust me, it's going to feel 10 times better to them, and it's going to help them get back to that calmer skin at the end. So with a cool towel or sponge or the 4x4s, whatever you like to use, remove that. For our second cleanse, our cleanser does something really cool when you add a 1-to-1 ratio of water. So pump cleanser, little splash of water with a fan brush in any bowl, metal, rubber, glass, whatever your heart desires, and you just whip it up. It gets foamy. So when you apply it with that water on it, that's going to be that extra double cooling. That water just really, the air around just makes that really nice cooling, invigorating feeling. And it also helps you gently massage a little better. It gives a little more slick to the cleanser. So then you're able to really make sure the skin is clean. Again, I wouldn't steam if someone comes in sunburnt, and I would continue to use the cooling towels because that's what they need at that moment. So then you would take it off so the skin is clean and ready to go. Now, again, you can do an analysis. You can look and see how much damage there really is, all the fun things. And then we're going to do our mask. We want to get that skin calm. So we're using our hydrating mask. Again, a key product in there is aloe. There's also arnica in our mask, which is very good for bringing down that inflammation. And you're going to do a full dropper of the live probiotic booster. So I usually empty out the dropper, hold it, put it in, and then let it go. So I get a full dropper's worth into that mask. You do about a tablespoon of mask and a full dropper, mix it together so it's evenly distributed. You don't have to wait for it to
overdose on, if somebody wanted, oh, I don't know if I got enough, can they do 2 droppers, or is that going to be bad for the skin?
No, our products are really foolproof. That's the benefit of our line, is we're aiding the skin. Everything we're giving to your clients is to boost the skin's properties. So you're not having to worry. I know there's a lot of lines out there where you have to get doses just right. You have to leave it on for a certain amount of time. That's why our protocol has that 45 to 60-minute gap, because you can leave things on longer if you want. You can leave them on shorter. We're just giving the skin the properties it needs. So there's no risk of burning a client or causing irritation on the skin. You're just giving them the ingredients that their skin actually can use and function with. I will also say, my train of thought, hold on. Oh, another reason you can't overdose is because your skin has a threshold. It is there to keep you healthy, and it doesn't want to overdose. It will absorb what it needs. And you'll see our hydrating mask does get absorbed in. So you put it on in that thick white layer. So don't be afraid to mix a little extra mask if you have a sunburned client, especially if you want to bring it on their décolleté, because I'm sure this is sunburnt too. Can pretty much guarantee that. So you can bring it down. You'll actually watch it absorb into the skin and turn clear. So you can see how fast your client's skin is needing this hydration. It's drinking it in like water. It's dry on a desert. It's desperate for this water and this hydration, and you're giving it to them. So they're actually able to see, okay, this mask absorbed in quickly. So you can add to it. If you see the mask is fully absorbed in after just like a few minutes, they need more. Then you can add more, because again, you will not OD someone's skin, I promise.
And there's antioxidants in the mask too, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's a very antioxidant
at that point.
Absolutely. Again, this mask and this live probiotic booster, which again is a professional grade, 3 times the concentration, but don't let that scare you. It's what the skin needs at that moment. So you're putting it in and you're putting it on the skin, and all of these anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, these just like very rich ingredients are helping to aid that skin and to bring down that irritation. It's going to help take the sting out of the redness and the sunburn. So you're not going to overdo it. So I leave this mask on for about 10 to 15 minutes is my average. Again, I would not steam with this mask if someone's burnt, and I would remove it with a cool towel. It is a thicker mask, but when you're removing it, don't feel like you need to scrub someone's skin to get it off. Just pat it off, because whatever is left will be absorbed in by the time they leave. Because again, your skin is drinking this like water, and you can do a little gentle massage if you need But just keep in mind, you don't want to be adding too much friction to someone's skin that's flared up, that's in a sunburn, that's having any issues. You really want to let the products do the work. So you've removed the mask. Again, we haven't scrubbed it. We've just lightly taken off any of the excess. Then we're going to do a dropper worth of a longevity concentrate. Now, you heard us talk about this. Shelby used it with her décolleté because it has arnica, it has turmeric, it has hibiscus, which helps with dark spots, which we know we get if we have too much sun exposure. It also has St. John's wort, sea buckthorn. I believe it's the St. John's wort they actually used to use in ancient times on the battlefields for healing soldiers. So it's a very healing ingredient, and that's in a nice concentration in our longevity concentrate. So you're adding that in, and you're doing just a very gentle 10-minute facial massage. At this point, the client's skin should be a lot calmer. You should start visibly seeing that reduction in redness, and they should feel a lot less sting, because we know sometimes those burns can sting. So you want to do that. And then I would remove the excess. This is a warm towel, which you can do. You can cool it off. I wouldn't do the straight steam towel. It's fine if it's a little warm at this point, but air it out a few extra little things. We all know what we do. We take it out by our fingertips. We're doing this. Do a few more of these before you would put it on their skin. I just like to take off that extra. And then you're going to do your final treatments. Now we're in our final steps. So you can do the pro tip of adding in the serum, and we'll explain how you're going to do that, how you're going to get that product at the end. So you can do our serum that's yellow, that has your everyday dose of probiotics. So you make sure they're walking out with another little extra boost. So you just pat that into the skin. I like to let that absorb in. So that's your extra little pro tip step. Otherwise, you do the Daily Defense Moisturizer, about 2 pumps, because it does soak in very well. So it might feel like a lot going on, but give it a second. If you want to boost that too, you can also add in a couple drops of the oil again to it, just to give it a few
They're
little
really hurting, or
yeah, if they're really hurting and you're like, you know what, you're going to need to walk out with a little more of this oil on. You can add a few drops into the moisturizer, mix it together, and then apply. I wouldn't layer them with the oil and the moisturizer. I find it way more beautiful if you combine them and then put it on the face. And then while everything's absorbing in, you do the eye cream. Something about our eye cream is it's a gel cream hybrid, so it's actually meant to be gently massaged in. So don't just tap it in, give it a little gentle massage, and you'll see it activate when you do that. It makes it a much better eye cream. And then that's all.
Today. Not so puffy, a little less. Yeah, it definitely helps with the dark circles under the eyes if somebody's been having a good time.
That's the daisy extract that breaks down the heme that causes those dark circles. It really is a very powerful product when it's used properly, which is that gentle massaging with your little SD fingers.
Yeah, from the marketing perspective, that pro tip of adding that extra serum at the end, because it's a beautiful color, it's great to be able to show the client, like, I'm going to put this on. This is an added thing. And this is the sunshine you should make sure you put on every day. And then as they're walking out, it's a great way to upsell, because that's really how estheticians are succeeding with our products too, in making more money, is sending them and saying, you really should take the Discovery Kit, which has basic 4, the cleanser, the serum, the moisturizer, and the longevity oil. So they could keep doing that while they're on vacation, or at least for the next couple days at home, or selling them the full size serum. It's such an easy way to add value, because every client, whether it's a sunburn or something else, is going to benefit. So just something to consider if you're looking for easy ways to make more money this summer. That would definitely be something I would think about.
Yeah, we mentioned explaining to your clients simply, and that's what it is. You're explaining, hey, I'm putting on these live probiotics to aid your skin, to benefit it, and to give it back. This is what's helping the recovery. If you want to maintain this recovery, we have it. You can do this every day. This is your daily dose of probiotics. This is what's going to help keep your skin healthy. It's a very easy jump. And I compare it to going to a doctor. If you go to a doctor and they just check you out, you're like, okay, but how do I get my problem under control? You expect them to give you a prescription or
a vitamin
or something. There needs to be something to keep up. You can only do so much in a service. So don't forget to sell your retail, because if you really trust and believe this product's going to help your client's skin, they will believe it too. And that'll help to build that trust, because if they're not seeing results and you're not offering them home care, there's just that disconnect. get them at least one product. I always say start small, start with one product, start with the serum. Have them have a daily dose of live probiotics on their skin. It's really easy.
That's
So
like 60 days on average too.
this lasts longer than 60 days. I'm gonna tell you
Does
that
it
right
for
now.
you? Maybe I'm
For
really
me,
hungry for
it depends on how far, it obviously depends very much how far you're dragging that serum down.
My husband
But
may be stealing it too. It's possible.
that's another issue. Men steal skincare. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Remind the ladies that if things start to go a little bit faster, they need to start looking at their partners because someone is double dipping.
Yeah, definitely. Emily, I thank you so much for those tips on that. And yeah, definitely I'm trying to remember which spa it is that I just loved that I went to, because as I was leaving and checking out, there was like a sweet little tray,
Oh
and
yeah,
it was,
with
these are the
the
products that I suggest. And it was such an easy way, especially for somebody that is not super comfortable with that, or this is an opportunity of growth where you guys are just learning how
yeah.
to sell more retail. Doing that there, and that education of you're basically selling by educating, is so much easier, and you'll be surprised. And then you can text us or send us a DM on Insta and be like, it worked.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I know it's daunting to sell retail. Trust me, I've been there. I've been in those spas. It's awkward. And I hear more and more people don't want to do it. But y'all, it is what is going to be a huge game changer, not just for your clients, but for your business. You have to stay open to keep helping them. And that's you can only do so many services in a day. So the way to boost your business is to get your clients buying retail from you. They're going to buy skincare. They're going to. Wouldn't you rather them buy it from you than Sephora or Target or Ulta or wherever they're getting their skincare? Oh my gosh, Amazon, heaven forbid. So remember, you're the expert. Remember, they're going to buy something. They should be buying it from you.
and they're
At
feeling
least then
great
they
at
get the
this point. They
results.
came in hurting, and now they're feeling like, okay, tomorrow's
Yeah,
going to be okay for that hypothetical wedding we keep talking about, or whatever. So definitely think about that.
helping
Let's
them.
talk really quick about contraindications,
Oh yeah.
because I know that everybody asks that of us. Well, look at that
Ooh, la,
animation.
la. So with our contraindication, I know this looks like a lot of copy, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the only contraindications is if someone has a natural allergy. This is why we have our intake forms. It's why we put it on there, because we need to know and you need to check your products. I actually have estheticians text or email me all the time of, hey, I have a client with this allergy. Can you quickly check and make sure? The benefit of Laflore is we actually, because we make our own products in our own FDA approved lab, and we're a biotech company first and foremost, we can ask our scientists right away. I had someone who was asking about hormone disrupting ingredients, if we had any, which we do not. So that's good to know. I learn every day too. And so I was able to check with our formulators and our scientists of, is this an actual issue? They said, no, she's good to go. And so you have that peace of mind with our company. And these are some of the allergies that we see from time to time. Another one I like to add on here is aloe. I've seen it twice ever. It's a very rare allergy, but when they say they're allergic to aloe, they mean it. And we do tend to have an aloe-based line. So again, that's only ever been 2 people that I've heard about in my almost 10 years of being an esthetician. But some other are pineapple. We use the pineapple enzyme in our cleanser and in our booster, our enzymatic booster. It has a pineapple and a papaya one in there. There is some shea butter in a few of our products, not in a large amount. Elderberry, pine. Again, we've been talking about the mint in the cleanser. I had one person ever have a mint allergy. Again, you get the weirdest stuff. Turns out it was not our mint she was allergic to. She was allergic to spearmint, not Japanese mint. So we recommend doing a patch test, because sometimes the part of that specific ingredient, like pineapple, for example, they're allergic to the fiber, not the enzymes. So that's why you want to do a patch test, because it's usually fine. But I always do mine on the inside of the wrist. I know some people do it right here on the neck. I just have always felt most comfortable here. And that's really the only way someone will have a contraindication. We said it before, these products are foolproof. So as long as someone's not allergic to an ingredient, you're not going to have any issues. All ages, all skin types. You can use on the full Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Awesome. I hope that all of you found this to be really interesting. I know I did, as I was researching and having even a better understanding. And Emily said, probiotics and the microbiome, these things are new and cutting edge. So we're always coming and learning as well. I think that's part of why I love my job. But I just wanted to make sure out of those objectives, you also have some key takeaways. So feel free to take a picture of this here. Traditional SPF, it just focuses on blocking the UV. And Emily, do you want to explain where we're at on that? Because I know that's a question we get sometimes with sunscreens.
Absolutely. With an SPF, like Shelby said, it's focused on preventing the damage, or at least minimizing the damage you're going to get. Where Laflore is about repairing that damage and giving the skin the properties to keep it healthy. So there's a difference there. We're strengthening the skin, where the UV, that SPF is just trying to block that UV. So it's just trying to prevent, we're trying to repair and replenish. We do recommend, I get this a lot because obviously we do not have an SPF. Our Daily Defense Moisturizer will boost an SPF. So that's something to remember too, that they are getting a little boost when they put on our moisturizer, but they do need an SPF as well. I recommend a mineral-based SPF. There's some great ones out there in the market. We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're all about harnessing the live probiotics in the skin microbiome. We're not reinventing the SPF wheel. There's some great ones out there. So mineral-based is my recommendation. But yeah, you want to compare it. Yeah,
layering that after your moisturizer, having them layer it after their moisturizer between the serum and that, you're boosting it basically and helping it all work. Okay, great. And from my amazing funnel, we all now understand that sunburns negatively impact the skin microbiome's diversity, and diversity is key when it comes to a healthy microbiome. Daily use of Laflore products help improve the skin barrier resiliency to decrease that UV impact, just like we were talking about, and signs of sun damage, as well, and help to reverse some of that. If anybody's interested, you can reach out to us, and we do have some interesting before and afters with the, what was that light that we did with the
Vizia machine?
The Vizia machine, thank you.
Those photos are terrifying, but it really does show how impactful live probiotics are in the skin, like how much, not just it can prevent damage, but how much it can reverse damage. That was what was shocking to me, was how much we were able to reverse with live probiotics without doing invasive treatments. Because there's so many people who are now like, oh, I've heard this or that about microneedling or chemical peels. So you're getting more holistic customers, I feel like, right now, and having a product that can reverse some of the issues, not just prevents. It does both. It prevents, but it also reverses.
Yeah. And my husband, he's an environmental scientist. We put him in the study because the man was using dial. He's
favorite
outside 90% of the time, and seeing his Vizia is incredible. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to reach out to us. I'll even post it on our Instagram so you can see it there. I'll pin it. And then the sunburn recovery treatment, as we were talking about, it reduces that redness, that inflammation, and that discomfort. It's incredibly hydrating for the skin and gives that boost, like Emily was saying, that 3x of what the serum is, jumpstart the recovery. And then if you go ahead and sell the retail, it's going to really help them overall. And then, as Emily alluded to earlier, we do have a special right now, and it's going on through the end of June. So if you want to share that, Emily, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So the special is,
you don't know it by heart yet?
I don't know it by heart. Is it 2 masks or just one?
So Emily, it's in the notes. Can you see the notes?
No, I was trying to find it on the notes.
It's in the
Oh, here we go. I see it. I got it. Okay. Ask me the question again. Let's try that again.
All right. Let's do that again. And Emily alluded to earlier that we do have a special that includes the serum. I'm pretty excited about this one because it does go through the end of June. So Emily, share. Let's hear from you.
So really excited about this one. What it's going to include is you're getting that protocol. You're also going to get our professional size cleanser, our Daily Defense moisturizer, a hydrating mask, which again is just remarkable. If you've never tried our hydrating mask, you're missing out. That live probiotic booster, that professional grade boost of that good bacteria. You get the longevity concentrate, the eye cream. So everything you need to complete that facial. But what you're going to get with this package is you're going to get a full pro size longevity concentrated serum. I wish I had one next to me. I don't. Mine is upstairs because I use it every day, but it is a big boy and it's normally $155. You're getting that completely free. And we're actually going to do complimentary shipping on top of that. So you're going to be saving over $200, which is going to help you with your bottom line because you're now able to start using the serum, and Shelby said use it as a way to start selling the retail. You're getting free shipping, so you don't even have to worry about that aspect. And you have everything you need to perform these amazing sunburn recovery protocol facials. So it giving your clients, again, you're charging anywhere from $99 to $125 for this facial. You will make your money back very fast. So that's about 30% in savings if you want to do the math on it.
Yeah, and that's not even including that bonus and the free shipping. So this year, actually it is our biggest initiative is partnership. And we really think that this is one of those facials that is going to keep people calling and talking about you as an esthetician. So I hope you take advantage of this. I think it's going to be really great. And thank you guys so much for coming. I'm going to go ahead. If you have any questions, like I said, if you want to see that before and after of my husband, Jizia, check us out on social at Laflore Skincare, or you can email us at wholesale@laflore.com. And both Emily and I get those emails, so we'll be able to reach out to you.
We got you.
All right. Thanks, NASNPRO family. Take care.
Bye.